welcome back to my channel. So today I am so excited because we are getting into Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. If you didn't know, she did start a brand new cosmetic line slash brand. There's a little bit more to it than just makeup, but we will get into that in the video. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Jackie. I'm so glad that you're here. Please don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified every time I upload a new video, or as often as you like to be reminded about my videos. My videos are here for whenever you guys want to come back and watch them. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, you guys, so before we get into the cosmetic side of this, I really want to get into what else Rare Beauty is doing. They have a fund called the Rare Impact Fund, and that fund's goal is to raise $100 million over the next 10 years to dedicate to mental health and having more resources for people to be able to get the help that they need. So with every sale, 1% will be dedicated to the Rare Impact Fund, and that is through Rare Beauty itself or through any of its partners. So I just thought I would mention that. They also have resources listed on their website for anybody that might need help. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna copy all that information and put it in the description, but if you need to find out any more information or you want to find out any more information, I will link Rare Beauty's website down below. But I really thought that was something really important that I wanted to mention. Mental health is such a big issue, especially right now in this pandemic. I know that there's some people that are still struggling or struggling more and can't get the help that they need because they can't afford it or whatever it might be. And so I think that it's pretty amazing that a brand, yes, is doing cosmetics, that's great, but more importantly, doing something that can better the world. So, okay, you guys, let's get into the cosmetic side of this. Again, all that will be linked down below. Okay, so going into the packaging itself, I'm going to zoom you in, I'm going to show you closely, but I do want to mention that pretty much all the packaging is the same. So I'll show you a couple of different items and the packaging, but I'm not going to show you every single one because again, it's all pretty much the same. So let me go ahead and zoom you in. Okay, so the first product we're going into is With Gratitude Dewy Lip Balm. I have to put something on my lips, so I want to go ahead and show you these. I got the shade Honest and Appreciate, and these ones retail for $16 a piece, and this is basically a moisturizing lip balm. Most of the packaging, like I mentioned, looks like this. Matte box, a little bit of texture. You have the shade names in the front, which I appreciate. And then some of the boxes do have a little swatch at the top to show you. In this case, you have a clear and you have this shade of lip balm. The actual packaging of this lip balm looks like this. The shape is really different. I don't know if you can see it here. It looks pretty cool. You have a simple, sleek Rare Beauty right at the front. The shape is kind of like flat and round. I don't know, I kind of like that. And then you open it up and twist it up and you have your lip balm. And this is the shade Honor. I think I said Honest. It's Honor. It's just like a clear. Okay, so these are the two shades that I got. This is the shade Appreciate, Honor. I know you can't see that one, it's a clear. But basically these are meant to just give you a little bit of color in a lip balm form. Okay, so moving on, I quickly do want to mention that from my understanding of this brand, I'm expecting super like natural, kind of like glowy, dewy makeup, almost just like to give you an effortless look. So in this collection, there also wasn't like eyeshadows or anything like that. Not yet anyway, I don't know if they're coming, but we're just gonna go ahead and move on. So I didn't pick up the primer that was in the collection, and the reason for that is because I'm not really like a luminous type of person. I don't mind a little dew, but I knew that I wasn't gonna use that primer past this video. So I did pick up the Always in Optimus 4-in-1 Mist, and this one does work as a primer as well. So we're going to be priming with this, and then a little bit of my Makeup Forever primer for my nose because I do get really oily. And then I also picked up the Liquid Touch Multitasking Sponge. I am, for whatever reason, kind of nervous about this sponge. I don't know why. I think it's just because I have my favorite, and so I feel like nothing's going to be able to top it. So this is the packaging for that 4-in-1 mist. As you can see, it is clear and the mist, that's good. Oh, it's really fine. I like that. And this one retails for $24. Up next, we have the Liquid Touch Multitasking Sponge, and it feels very much like a sponge. Like, you know those old school big sponges? That's what it feels like. Again, multi-purpose, as in baking, for under your eyes, for your foundation, all that stuff. And I feel like it's really tiny, so we'll see how big it gets once I wet it. So before I get it on, I do want to talk about the foundation packaging. It is pretty much the same thing as the concealer. So I'll just go ahead and show you this one. This does retail for $29, and this is the Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation. I am a little nervous about this. It does come with a doe foot applicator, and the reason that I'm nervous about it is because I actually did the test thing, like the Find Your Foundation on Sephora's website, and it gave me a very, 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 very light shade, and I was like, I think this is wrong. Let me go ahead and try to pick one out. So I did. It looks a little dark in the tube, but we'll see how it looks on the face. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spray on my Always an Optimist spray. And then I'm also gonna go in with a little bit of my Step 1, and that's because I get really oily on my nose, but I'm just gonna keep that here on my nose, so. Okay, so I gave that a second to all dry down, and now we're gonna just go ahead and get into this. I got the shade 310W, and whew, I'm nervous. Okay. Oh, okay, I feel like this is not gonna be too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna apply just that much because I don't know if that's a lot, I don't know how this works. I will say I feel like I have to keep wringing the sponge a little bit. So there's that. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this half of my face with the sponge, and I'm gonna do the other half with a brush just to see what the two finishes would be like. I didn't get the brush that they had in the collection. I personally prefer a sponge, so I just didn't, I don't know, I just didn't reach for it, honestly. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish applying this with the sponge. I also want to mention this foundation is supposed to be medium to full coverage, if I remember correctly. I definitely think it's laying very nicely on the skin. There's some areas that do need a little bit more than others, with the sponge anyway so far. Okay, you guys, so recently I fell in love with the Laura Lee Los Angeles LL11. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the other half with the brush and see if we get a little more coverage or how it would apply. Again, this is not the brush from the collection. Okay, so I went ahead and I just zoomed you in. You can see here, so this is the sponge side, and this is the brush side. And you guys, I actually like this foundation. I can't believe I'm saying that. It is super lightweight, and I think it applies beautifully with the sponge or with the brush. I will say I feel like maybe I had to apply a little bit more with the sponge than I did with the brush, but I don't really think it was that much more. I really thought that I was like, this was gonna soak up a lot, but my sponge is still pretty wet. Like, it's not dripping, but if I squeeze it like super, super hard, some liquid will come out. You can see right here between my fingers. So I don't know, I kind of like it. I don't love the sponge just because of the filling in my hand, but it applied the foundation really nicely, and so did the brush. Like, I think it looks really good. Okay guys, so moving on to concealer. This is the Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer, and this one is $19. And I also had to go in and kind of pick my own. I feel like I picked a concealer that was too much like my skin tone, so a little too dark for my liking. So let's hope that I picked a good one here. So I like my highlighters to be a little bit on the bright side. as you can tell. So on both sides, I'm going to go in with a sponge because personally, I feel like my under eye needs it. I have lines. I also want to say that this is supposed to be giving me medium coverage, so we shall see once I have it fully blended out. Okay, so that was one layer. I feel comfortable enough to go in with a little bit more. I definitely think that is medium coverage, but I just want a little bit more, just like that. And then we'll go in here and see what happens. It is super weightless though, so I feel comfortable going back in. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and I zoomed you in so you can see the concealer is laying nicely. For me, personally, I already know it's going to crease majorly, so I am going to set it with my Nakia Joy Velvet Finishing Powder. But I do have major lines under my eyes, but everywhere else, it is laying very nicely, very softly. I 100% agree with them that it is medium coverage. I don't think it's medium to full coverage. I don't think you can build it to full coverage. I mean, I put a little bit extra and I put plenty the first time you saw. So I don't really think I got a bunch more coverage from that. So I am gonna go ahead and set under my eyes and then we will move on to blush. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and I just bronzed a little bit, and now we're gonna get into the blushes. So let me go ahead and show you what these look like. Okay, so I did get 3 shades. I got Bliss, Joy, and Love, and these are so gorgeous, and the packaging has like a little gold detail, kind of same as the concealer. Let me go ahead and swatch them. Okay, so these are the 3 shades. You have the shade Love, Joy, and Bliss, and this one I feel like is not coming out as vibrant as it actually is. Okay, so to apply this, I'm just going to take my Alamar Cosmetics bronzer brush. I'm going to do this one just because I feel like it'll stipple on a little bit better. But I think we're going to go into a little bit of Joy and a little bit of Love. And I'm actually really scared here. I will say these are pretty pigmented, like a little bit goes a long way. Okay, apparently I just dipped into all 3, so. Okay, you guys, I really like that. I feel like it's very youthful and very soft. You just have to use a little bit because they are pigmented. So moving on to the highlights, this is the Positive Light Liquid Luminizer, and I did get 4 shades. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them for you guys, but just so you can see, the packaging is very similar to the rest. Okay, guys, so these are the swatches. As you can see, they are very bright. This one clearly had, like, I don't know, a lot of the oil. I did shake them all. It seems like it was almost stuck on the lid. So this is the shade Outshine, Mesmerize, Enlighten, and Flaunt. So we're gonna go in with a little bit of Flaunt, and let me just, I don't want to open it again. I feel like it's just gonna fall everywhere. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna dab just with my finger because I'm a little worried about this here. So we're gonna go like that. Okay, so that was one little layer. I love that little glow within moment. We're gonna see if we can layer this on. Oh, I already have some in the back of my hand. Okay. That is a nice, healthy glow. I do like that, and it blended out really nicely. I also don't feel like it brings out any texture, like extra texture from the skin. It just, I don't know, blended out nicely. So now I picked up something that I normally wouldn't pick up, and that is the Brow Harmony Crayon and Gel. And I picked it up in deep brown. I'm hoping that that works for me. The reason that I normally wouldn't pick this up is because if you guys haven't been watching me for a while, I actually just put gel in my brows. I don't draw them out. I don't like the super drawn out look on myself. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. It's like double-ended. On one side you have the brow product that you would just twist up, and you can retract it back down, which I do like. And then on the other side you have a little bit of brow gel. So I'm gonna go in here and we'll do a little something. I do feel like, oh, that is a little thick. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna go in here lightly into the brows. And if I didn't mention, I did get deep brown. So I actually just like to fill in my problem areas. And unlike most people, I actually feel like my bottom is very heavy compared to the top. So and I'm just using a spoolie. I have to be honest, I thought it was a spoolie on the end. I didn't know it was gel. And I'm really just flicking this. Like I said, you guys, I'm not a full drawn out brow kind of person. And then we'll take this and retract it back down, and let's apply a little bit of the gel. I will say I feel like a lot of product comes out on the little thing, so I'm just gonna wipe some of it off. Okay, so that is one brow done, one brow not done. I kind of like it. Again, this isn't gonna make me use it every day, but yeah, I kind of like it. Okay, let me go ahead and do the other brow. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and I finished up the brow, and honestly, I kind of like it. Like, I would actually use it again. I didn't pick up the eyeliner, and the reason for that is because I normally don't do liquid liner. I wasn't even trying to do it today, but I was just trying to put a little line so my lashes looked a little bit more full, and one thing led to another. And I have eyeliner on now. So now we're gonna get into the lips, and I went ahead and I just lined my lips with my NAMI Cosmetics Go Get That Lip Liner. And now we're gonna get into the lip souffle creams, and I'm kind of excited. So these are matte, and I did pick up 2 shades. The packaging is super sleek. I like this soft touch. Oh, it's so beautiful. And let me go ahead and rub some on here to show you guys some swatches. Okay, so as you can see here, they still look nice and moussey. We have the shade Thrilling and the shade Fearless, and they are matte, but they still have a little sheen. I'm gonna leave them on my hand to see if they dry down anymore. So I think I'm just gonna go in with the Fearless shade, and let's see what happens here. Okay, you guys, so I let that set here on my hand. It didn't matte down anymore, so I feel like it's not going to. I definitely think that it looks more matte on my lips. I absolutely love this. Like, oh, these feel like pillowy lipstick. I love it. I think those are cute. Like, you need to try them. I'm gonna go ahead and just set my face with you guys here really quickly. That is my last and final step. And I'm just gonna use my fan to help this go a little faster. And that is it, you guys. That is everything that I purchased from Rare Beauty. I almost said Raw Beauty. Oh my gosh. Really quickly, my final thoughts with everything. The lip products, amazing. Both of them, absolutely love. And I don't know, like, I love the packaging to these little dewy lip balm things. And I think these are great for like everyday use. I think they're great to wear on lighter makeup days over your favorite lipstick to give it a little shine. I absolutely love those. The thing that I probably liked the least, and it's not the product itself, I think that it's super lightweight and everything like that, the concealer, and it's medium coverage. Everything that they say that it is, but personally I like a full coverage concealer, and for that reason I probably wouldn't reach for it. But other than that, I feel like what they describe the concealer to be is exactly what it is. I definitely think you're going to get medium coverage. I think it's lightweight and it's going to brighten up your eyes. I do think that I maybe got a shade too light, but I did like it. As for the foundation, I am super surprised, and the reason that I'm surprised is because it might not be full coverage to me. I don't think this is full coverage. Maybe if I layered on a little bit more, it would have been, but this feels comfortable. Most lightweight foundations that are going to be like natural or whatever, I feel like they tend to be oily or like too shiny, and I don't normally like the way they look. Right now I feel like I look, I don't know, youthful and glowy, but not oily, and like it doesn't look like it's separating. And I feel like sometimes foundations have that issue, so I'm actually really surprised by this foundation. Personally, I would probably set it with my regular setting powders that I use. That's just my personal preference. I don't think it needs much. If you do like that natural kind of like skin looking situation, then you will love that foundation. The blushes, I was surprised at how bright they are. I do think a little goes a very long way, so you just want to be careful with that, but I really did like them like a lot. I think they lay on the skin very beautifully along with the highlighters. I was kind of nervous that these were just going to kind of sit on top of, you know, the foundation and the blush and everything. I was scared that they weren't going to like blend. I did have a little oil mishap with that excess oil. Maybe I was supposed to mix it a little more. Maybe something's wrong with mine and I didn't realize it. I don't know. To me, not a huge deal. Things happen. But the highlighters themselves, like, I don't know. I like that little like, ow, pulled my hair, healthy glow vibe, you know what I mean? And that definitely gives you that. As for the sponge, I don't hate it. I don't love it. Maybe I have to keep trying it out to give it like my final thought, but it's not going to necessarily replace the sponge that I currently use, if that makes sense. I did keep mine a little more wet than I would keep my Makeup Geek sponge that I normally use, and that seemed to not suck up too much of the foundation. And then the brow product, oh, it's right here, I couldn't find it. The brow product, I was actually surprised. It did look a little thickums, like the little tip looked a little thick and I was nervous, but it was really easy to use, and the actual product itself, like, you can barely tap it and it's getting on there. So if you're doing little flicking motions, you're gonna get those little flicks without having to like press too hard or anything like that. So I do like that as well. The gel set pretty nicely. It's not too thick, just a lot comes out, so you just want to wipe it off and be careful with that. And lastly, please don't forget that I will be leaving the resources that were on the Rare Beauty website in my description. I just don't want anybody to feel, if they need help, that they're alone or that there isn't help out there. I really think that it's important for us to share that type of information. We've all been through something, we'll go through something, it happens, and we're all here to help each other out. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in my next one. Adios.